Hello everyone, welcome to 10 Minutes Astrology. Once a week, me and Alejo will meet each other here and discuss about of astrology and also share about the how we learn astrology and how we interpret the chart. And I think 2 weeks ago, we start talking about Saturn in the house. So we've been
We don't see it's
interrupted.
just a shadow. It's Saturn.
Yeah,
We don't see what it is, just a
Saturn.
shadow.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Saturn in third house. So Alejo.
So the third house is about communication, right? It's about the
Yeah.
mind. It's also about the early
Hmm.
years of education, our
Hmm.
siblings, and it's
Yeah.
about how we communicate, how we listen, how we think, how we interchange ideas. So when Saturn is there, that's where we feel a kind of restriction or limitation. That's what we feel. We fear that area of life. We might feel we're
Hmm.
not good enough. We might judge ourselves a lot on that area of
Hmm.
life, and we may even judge others on whether they are intelligent or not. So Saturn in the third
Yeah.
house might feel that they have a difficulty in expressing their words, in expressing their
Hmm.
ideas. They might feel that their way of thinking is not smart enough, it's not quick
Hmm.
enough, and they
Hmm.
might feel judged by their ideas and their thoughts. And probably because of that, they will work it out. They will develop, they will go to the very essence of what it is that they want to transmit.
Hmm.
And they will make sure that they do it in a very specific, clear way, in a very grounded way, in a respectable way. So then in the end, when they speak, they will be able to speak with a sense of authority, with a sense of, they will
Mm.
probably have thought what they're going to say because they feel they're going to be judged. So before saying something, they will think everything that somebody will say to counteract my opinion. So I have to have this
Mm.
argument ready. So when they finally speak, what they say is so mature, is so steady, so strong, so powerful that
Hmm.
they may end up becoming an authority in this area of life, which is the
Mm.
mind, the intellect.
Definitely, definitely. I think with the Saturn in the third house, I usually I can see some some client or some case when I study. You can see their childhood for some reason for the study or the experience with communication feel a little bit slightly frustration, and then they build up some protection either being practiced very well, or they give them
Mhm.
some idea about that children should be educated in certain way. So they either become a tutor or teacher in the school, or they
Mhm.
kind of build up the way to speak, to communicate with other people. And they both, I can see the beauty of the Saturn finally become the fruits with those their frustration in the childhood, and then they build it up and eventually become authority like you say, or they know how to use the word, or how to to help the children to study that in a better way, and that would be so interesting. So Alejo, have we prepared a case today?
Yes, we have a case. Let me share it. Sorry. Uh, so this is Jean-Paul Sartre. If you're only listening, Jean-Paul
Ooh.
Sartre, born on the
Yep.
21st of June 1905, 645 Paris, France. And you can see he has Saturn down here in the third house. Now, if you know anything
Ah.
about Sartre, you know that he felt he was super smart. He felt he
He,
was super intelligent. He was
yes,
a little bit
he
of
is.
an arrogant, I think. But so it's interesting that he had this Saturn in the third, because one may wonder if this over yeah, kind of this overemphasis on the mind and intellectual qualities
Mhm.
is actually responding to a need to overcompensate a feeling that he was not smart enough, perhaps that he was not intelligent enough. So because sometimes we wonder, we see external behaviors, but we don't know what's
Mhm.
happening in the person, right? And with Saturn in the
Mhm.
third, we might think that there was something he wanted to prove. He wanted to prove how smart he was, and
Mhm.
might think, why was he so compelled to prove
Mhm.
how smart he was? And the other thing that it's interesting with this Saturn in the third, that it became an obsession of him,
Yeah.
the mind and the intellect. And you know that he didn't take baths. He thought like washing your teeth was
Hmm.
brushing your teeth, you say, right? Brushing your teeth was a waste of time because you should be always thinking, creating ideas. So he started losing his teeth. And his friends were telling him, you need to go to the dentist. And he was like, I'm not going to waste time with that. I have to prove how smart I am. So he was constantly, it's like it was a complete denial of the body with this over obsession with the
Mm.
mind. And now it's interesting because with Saturn in the third, you might think that it's the mind that gets denied and not so much the body. But because
Yeah.
it's Saturn here, I think he was so focused on developing this so much because he would judge himself and others based on that, on what is their intelligence, what's their intellectual ability. And he had
Mm.
one big frustration in this sense that he
Hmm.
never wrote a great novel or a remarkable play.
Hmm. Well,
But
I think yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, Alejo. Yeah. So no. I think because I didn't hear you. So please, the last two sentences.
Yeah, that he felt that he didn't write. He's never written a remarkable novel
Hmm.
or a remarkable play. That's what he would say. Of course, it's not. He did write some plays. I'm
Yeah.
remembering one of them now. It's called The Flies, I think it's called.
Hmm.
And he wrote some more. There's another one. I don't remember the name now. But he felt they were not remarkable.
Well, I
So
think in one way that explains his Saturn in the third house. Well, even he write a great work, but he still think
exactly.
I'm not good, and he's trying so hard to prove himself is great. His mind. Oh, I think every people who study the French literature or maybe philosophy or maybe the modern literature, people when they heard about Zhongguo Sartre, they would say, "Oh my God," and he still say, I didn't have a great work." That is somehow, some way, that's the Saturn in the third house, deny himself work in that way. And that was so interesting because that Saturn in Pisces, that is like what we experience now with that kind of uncertainty of the rule of the world. It's like I'm not sure why I'm here, and I'm not sure what to follow and what should I do, and that totally sums up, the John Paul Sartre's, his idea in the philosophy, and that is so intriguing. So, and we
Yeah, I mean, because
noticed,
he was not. Sorry.
yeah, go on, Alejo, please.
No, no, you go. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry, that's a bit of delay. Sorry, sorry. Go on.
No. I think today we have this delay. That's the Saturn in the third house, isn't it? So kind of overlap each other's. So no. I really, because I think we should continue a little bit about what you say. The about Because when I just finished that thingy.
I was going to say about this frustration.
Hmm.
He is read as a philosopher. I mean,
Yeah.
his impact in the history of writing, I don't know how to call it, is because of his philosophical ideas and not because of his writing style, perhaps. And that's
Hmm.
why,
Hmm.
this frustration that he's not considered a literalist,
Mm.
like a literature maker. He's considered a
Yeah.
philosopher. So he's looked
Hmm.
upon because of his ideas, not so much because of his way of writing. And I think this was his frustration.
Yeah, but to be honest, if we only have a 1/10 of his intelligence, we will be so proud of ourselves, I
Come
think.
on. Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think that is his Saturn. I think that is his Saturn. He started in there, kind of, struggling between that. Is so interesting because it's kind of his Saturn is trying the Neptune, the modern ruler of Pisces of the Saturn, and so that is kind of that's another way, because to be honest, I I like the when Saturn met Neptune. There's a one way is like tell people that dream is not possible, but in another way they say, but there is the way to make dreams come true by working hard or by more practical. That is the the intangible of a mind, intangible of a philosophy thinking, and channel it into the reality world with the Saturn's ability. And I think that just remind me another, I think, ancient idea about Saturn is Saturn incorporated, so just like give things the body, give things a form. In the traditional astrology view of Saturn, one of Saturn's function is give those soul or give those idea a format, a form to be, have a physical body so we can
Yeah.
understand. And that is like
Yes.
Saturn in the third house. Third house is the things we say. It's not just saying. You have to make it. You have to make people see it and realize
Yes.
that is the truth.
Yes. Yeah. Hmm.
So
Well,
this is, yeah, it is very interesting to see the John Paul Sartre's chart, and a great philosopher, and with the Sartre in the third house, and you can see those intangible idea about the Pisces and Neptune there. So I'm so enjoying this discussion today. But next week we have an even more interesting place going to talk about.
next week we're going to Saturn in the fourth. Yes.
Saturn in the fourth house. So, well, thank you for watching and listen 10 minutes of astrology. Today we talk about Saturn in the third house. And if you like, please share and like, and also give us some feedback. And so we can, and also if you have some questions, please leave it in the comment area. So we will find time to answer you and maybe to have more discussion. Thank you and see you next week. Bye-bye.